10 people, including 9 active duty Navy sailors, are facing felony charges after a nearly year-long investigation. They were accused of a violent assault at a house party in Hamul last year. The Sheriff's Department also says many of them were part of criminal street gangs. NBC7's Dana Williams has details on what happened.
All 10 of those people were at a home on this street in Hamul. The Sheriff's Department says it was rented out for a birthday party on a short-term rental website. Obviously, before the end of the night, it turned violent.
The homeowner notified the sheriff's office that this party was occurring, no longer wanted this party to occur on their property. So they gave us a call, and then that's when the fight broke out, when the victims were assaulted.
The Sheriff's Department says 3 people were hurt, including one who was pistol whipped, hit over the head with a bottle, and punched.
Some of the suspects produced firearms, pointed it at the victim, and by the time deputies got there, we did make 1 arrest that evening, but the majority of the suspects fled.
With the help of NCIS, the 10 people were identified as the following, 9 of which are active duty Navy, and the 10th, the Sheriff's Department says, is prior Navy. Arrests were made on Tuesday at Naval Air Station North Island, Naval Base San Diego, Naval Medical Center San Diego, Naval Weapons Station Seal Beach, and 1 off-base home within City of San Diego limits.
So, just to kind of put this in perspective at first, so there was a house that was rented on a short-term rental site. And of course, the hosts of these, rentals, they don't want you to have parties in their homes and stuff like that. That's not the intent. So the homeowner called the authorities because they wanted this party shut down once they, got knowledge that it was happening. And, and a fight ensued out there. And, there was alleged victim, and turns out that 9 of those individuals were active duty within the Navy, and 1 was former Navy. And there's no telling who was telling in the whole situation once they started getting certain individuals in, but they arrested a lot of these people, man, at a lot of naval bases and stuff like that, or medical centers, weapon stations. So and these guys are trained as far as using the weapons and things like that. You could bring the person out the hood, but a lot of times you can't take the hood out the person. So it's just one of those sayings that I've heard, and it stands true to this day. So you would think these individuals are, doing better with their lives and stuff like that, but they still had that knack for wanting to, do gang activity.
And 1 off-base.
And have them face justice.
Investigators also seized 5 guns and $20,000. They say there is an added element to this, and, quote, many of these suspects were associated with criminal street gangs. When asked for clarification on that, they said they're still going through phones and interviewing witnesses, and more details will come out in court. Meantime, a spokesperson for the Navy Region Southwest said in an email, in part, quote, individuals are considered innocent until proven guilty, but I can say the Navy will not tolerate sailors actively participating in criminal gang activity. Such behavior and affiliation is contrary to good order and discipline, harmful to unit cohesion, and a violation of the oath of service.
So, as we were just saying, the spokesperson from the Navy was basically saying, being in the Navy, you take an oath, and when you are participating in gang activity, you're breaking that oath. You're not portraying like good order, discipline, and like they said, it's harmful to unit cohesion because the only group you're supposed to be involved with, or having any type of allegiance to, is the Navy. And that's a pretty strong statement there from a representative of the Navy.
Violation of the oath of service. The DA's office says this coming Tuesday is when we're going to learn more about this case in court, and the charges will be announced then. From Hamul, I'm Dana Williams, NBC7.
So that should be today that they learn more. But just trying to shed light on, again, what's going on out there in the community. And this is over in San Diego. And, these individuals unfortunately, got caught up in this whole thing because of, assaulting someone at a house party. And I feel like they didn't take it all the way or where they could have took it. I mean, they brandished weapons, but they didn't kill the individual, and I feel like it's because in the back of their minds they know that they get caught up, and they do something like that. It's definitely it's over for their Navy careers, and I'm sure the Navy pays them real well. Um, it's like literally like working like a job, but a lot more tougher. But yeah, I mean, you get caught up, man. When you don't, you know, uh, when you don't, put certain things in your past, man. If you don't really fully move forward, it's easy to get caught up in stuff. It's easy to like fall back into things or revert back to your old ways. And the thinking is that the Navy is gonna be a place that'll take that thing out of you, take that type of thinking and mentality out of any of our military branches. So it's very, very unfortunate. But trust me, man, it's a lot of people within those ranks who have previous ties to like gang activity and street crimes and stuff like that. And again, the hope is that when you go into these branches, man, you find some type of discipline, find some type of purpose, and elevate yourself above all that type of activity. But we'll see if there's a follow up story that I can come back and react to. And I'm gonna just keep my eyes on this whole thing here. Just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. But if you like my content, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.